SwoleBenji here. Today I am going to teach you how to play the Soulfist in both Chaos Dungeons and in Raids. I'm going to tell you the skills that you should be using, why you should be using them, engravings, and all of that fun stuff. I'm going to show you the highest possible DPS that you can crank out with this character, and it is a lot of fun to play, so let's get right into it. Alright, first up we're going to talk about Chaos Dungeon, the skills that you want to use. So first up we have Magnetic Palm, we just have Sturdy Armor. Now this is just a filler skill while you sit and wait for cooldowns to reduce. So what it looks like is this, you just hold down the button, you'll charge up energy and it'll explode. Now the reason this is filler is because it gives us armor with the perk, and it allows us to knock enemies up in the air, which means we take less damage. It's better than just running around willy-nilly taking damage from mobs, okay? The next skill we have is Heavenly Squash. This one is mostly a boss snipe skill. You're going to take Hard Hitter and Harsh Training, and it looks like this. It's pretty good, and I'm going to show you why it's pretty good later, but it's just another filler skill that you can use to smush a small group of mobs or deal damage to a boss, alright? Then you're going to take Flash Step with Excellent Mobility, and this is your movement ability skill, and it looks like this. It's just to get around faster, nothing much more. If you're fighting a big boss in Chaos Dungeons, or like the secret Chaos Dungeons, then you can use it to actually stagger a little bit faster. It's not the best stagger skill, but because you hit 3 times very quickly, it is pretty nice. Next up, you have Tempest Blast. We take Song of Time, Harsh Training, and Demolition. Now, this is another boss snipe ability, but this is also, you can kite the mobs around into a line, and then you just evaporate them. It's a very cool skill, very Dragon Ball Z-like. Very awesome. Alright, now we have Shadow Breaker. Take Predator, Weak Point Detection, and Sixth Sense. This, again, is another boss snipe ability, but this is also just a small little area of effect. You just do 2 explosions on the ground, it kills mobs around you. It's really high damage, that's why we take it. Now we have Force Orb with Quick Prep, Powerful Wave, and a Scattering Wave. And what this does is this is a huge mob clear, so it looks like this. All of these little energy orbs will pierce through monsters and kill entire waves in a single hit, okay? I'm going to show you how to make it kill in a single hit in just a bit. Then we have Crippling Barrier with Sturdy Armor, so we take less damage, Hard Hitter, and Keen Judgment. Now what this does, it looks like this, and it just kills everything around you, and at the end it will suck in enemies that may still be alive, in which case you just follow up with one of these, one of these, one of these. It doesn't matter what you follow up with, they're going to die, okay? And then, after that, our final ability is Energy Release with Fighting Spirit Enhancement, Energy Release Enhancement, and Ready Attack. And this is just kind of like going Kaioken. It just makes you, it just makes you more powerful. It's a very cool ability, okay? Now, for engravings, you're going to take 2 Preemptive Strikes, okay? Now, what this does is if you have not dealt damage to a mob that has full HP, the mob has to have full HP, not you, you're going to always critical hit and deal 160% crit damage. So, let's say this energy orb does 10,000 regular damage, but to a full health HP mob, it's going to deal over 40,000 damage. Now, what this means is a skill like this will instantly delete a boss mob, okay? Maybe not the elite boss mob, but we have our ultimate for that, which is Decimation Ray. I'm going to go ahead and queue up the training grounds here real quick so that I don't waste my awakening shards, or whatever they're called, and show you the ultimate that you should be using. Alright, and let me just pop down the Scarecrow boss real quick, and it's basically a giant Kamehameha wave, okay? So you just hold down the button, you'll shoot an energy blast. This will kill everything in Chaos Dungeons, and this will one-shot the big boss on stage 2. Alright, easy, simple, and you can always go Super Saiyan and energy release, and just let them have it. You can shotgun bosses with the Force Orb and stuff like that, and you just deal tons of damage. You move around very quickly. It's a lot of fun to play. You clear Chaos Dungeons so easily with this skill, and when you are in your Hype 3 mode, which I called Super Saiyan, you do have reduced cooldown, so you can just spam these abilities all darned day. It's very cool, very good. Now for equipment, you're going to want a crit and specialization on your necklace, and everything else, your earrings, your rings, you want specialization. This increases your damage, alright? Now, what I'm just using Awakening on this because it's whatever. Sight Focus is also pretty darn good. I'm going to teach you about that for raids real quick. Also, before we get into it, it really does help to have Robust Spirit. This just increases your damage. I also have Awakening because I like to spam my ultimates, but you don't really have to do it in Chaos Dungeons if you don't want to. This is just what I use, You don't have to copy this. Chaos Dungeons are pretty simple. You just want to make sure you have Preemptive Strike level 3. You don't even need it at level 3. Level 1 or 2 is completely fine to one-shot just about everything anyway. Now, before we get into that, let's talk about cards real quick. You can really use just about anything for Chaos Dungeons. They're that easy. I personally use the 2-piece Field Boss set and a 1-piece, what is it called? The Farewell Weapon set, and all that does is give me more HP. Again, you can use anything that you absolutely want. You don't really need defenses in Chaos Dungeons, so you don't have to worry about things like having 5% less damage from monsters or anything like that going on. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the Romanticist card set, and once you have all 4 of them, you have a 10% chance of getting your cooldowns just cleared on your movement skills. So what that means is that you can dash 6 times or potentially 9 times if you're really lucky. But also what that means is when you are in Hype 3 mode, you don't spend energy, okay? So what that means is you could just sit here and dash into whatever monster you want to stagger no matter what. So that is my recommendation for cards. And one last quick thing, while we pray to Beatrice here, however you say your name, please leave a like on the video, and if you would like to support the channel, please become a YouTube member. There are videos that I publish to members only that are pretty beneficial, that may be really good for like market flipping or even game exploits, so it's only $5 a month. Think about joining, I really appreciate it. Let's move on. Now let's get into the raid skill setup. So first off, we have Pulverizing Palm. We're going to be taking Excellent Mobility. This is a movement skill. This is like a gap closer when the boss jumps around. Ready Attack is going to give you a 25% increase in attack power for 4 seconds, which is how we're going to combo with other abilities, okay? And that looks like this skill right here. You just dash forward, shoot a little air burst out of your palm. It's pretty cool. Alright, next up we have Lightning Palm. Now this is your counter attack, okay? This is if you're in front of the boss and it starts glowing blue, just hit him with this and everyone will love you for it. And this will raise your attack power by only 4%, but it can stack. I'm not sure how you stack it other than AoE hitting mobs. It looks like this, just shoots out like a small cone burst in front of you, but it is your counter attack. You absolutely should, all your characters should run a counter attack. Well, Bard doesn't, well, Bard has one, but Bard's an exception, okay? Check out my Bard guide on my channel if you want to learn how to play Bard, by the way. Next up, we have Heavenly Squash, this time level 10 with Hard Hitter, Harsh Training, and Exquisite Attack. And this is just a big dump of damage onto a big fat mob. Now, you'll notice that it kind of spread out a bit with the palms there. This is what it looks like not on the boss. It just kind of randomly puts a bunch of hands on the ground, right? Mostly, raid bosses are pretty big and chunky, so you'll get all your hits in, all right? Next up, we have Flash Step, that's the name, with mobility. Again, it's just this skill. Now, this is something that you just use to dump when you are in hype mode. So, you're in hype mode, or let me get back into hype mode, and then you just dump it on the boss, and this is going to increase their stagger. It's just free damage while everything else is on cooldown. It also lets you zip away from danger when the raid boss does an AoE mechanic, so you're not just stuck eating damage, okay? Next up, we have Shadowbreaker. Same thing, Predator, Weak Point Detection, Sixth Sense. That is this skill right here. It does quite a bit of damage, especially to raid bosses. Then you have Force Orb with Quick Prep, Powerful Wave, and Scattering Wave. Now, we use this because it's shotguns, okay? Also, because raid bosses are pretty big, you can usually hit them from a decent safe range. So, you'll notice that all 3 orbs will deal damage. Let me get a little closer, and look at that. There's 3 damage numbers there. But if you happen to be far away, you can still at least hit them with some kind of damage, alright? So, it's kind of more of a safety skill. Then you have Merciless Pummel. This is your main damage ability. This is a single target combo damage ability. You're going to take Hard Hitter, Cold-Hearted, and Double Up. And what that does is you're just gonna punch and kick the boss. So check it out. You just hit him multiple times. Let me do it zoomed out. And look at that damage. Let me show you on the DPS meters here. Just look at this damage rank up. Now that's just in regular mode, okay? But if we, I'm gonna show you how to power up in just a little bit with your proper perks, okay? And then finally, of course, energy release with Swift Fingers, energy release enhancement, and ready attack, and that is how you're going to do it. Now I'm going to talk about engravings. Now, engravings, this is kind of a work in progress. I don't have all the proper engravings quite yet, but essentially, there's a couple ways you can play this. For raids, you can either be an ultimate spammer, so you'd want to have Awakening level 3, and of course Robust Spirit level 3. Unfortunately, Awakening is very, very expensive. It's hard to gear for. I just don't have the gear for it yet. But there are many many alternatives, okay? You at least want Robust Spirit level 1, okay? So I get that just purely for my gear. I think I've got +2 there, another +2 there, and +1 there, okay? And of course, I got another +1 there. So I'm a little bit over, but it's fine, okay? So you want at least +1, and if you want to know how to get this from gear, instead of buying it on the market, just do your Abyssal raids, and those will always have all your gear, all your accessory pieces will always have a chance to have Robust Spirit or Energy Overflow. And Energy Overflow, it's not bad. You can use it if you want. It's not fun for me. I like to go straight to Super Saiyan 3, right? Now, I'm going to teach you about my favorite engraving to use, but you can use pretty much anything that you're comfortable with, and it is called Sight Focus. Now, here's how it works. When you put 6 exclamation points into normal chat, you gain 28% damage for 6 seconds, okay? So let's go ahead and slap those bad boys on right there, just like that. I'm going to put 2 of them. I don't need Preemptive Strike for raids, obviously, okay? So what that looks like is this. There we go. It's really, really cool. It's like I just went into Kaioken mode with Big Red Wave, right? Now, you're wondering, how the hell did I just put 6 exclamation points out without pushing enter and typing the exclamation points? Another thing I want to also mention, let me just reset cooldown. Something sold real quick. I'm just going to take that. Okay, so you can say anything, too. You can be like, I am going Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then, did I not put enough in? Did they patch that? No, okay, yeah. So I didn't put enough exclamation points, right? But anyway, you can say whatever you want if you want to roleplay, but you don't have to. And here's how to set that up, okay? So you're gonna press escape, and you're going to go to settings. All right, and then you're going to go to gameplay. And let me find it here real quick. I'm sorry, it's been a long time since I've played the Korean version, but you go to community and you go to macro text, okay? And then you have these macro text boxes. So you want to input 6 exclamation points into whichever one you want. You want to make sure that it's set to normal so that it says it in normal chat. You won't be powered up if you use any other chat. All right. Then you go down here to hotkeys, and you can use the default. So you can click macro text, and you can see macro text 1 is Alt +1. That is the default setting. All right. So what that means is that when I hold Alt and I press 1, my character will say 6 exclamation points, and I now have 28% additional damage for just a little bit, okay? So the cool thing is that you can cast this while you're in an animation, okay? So what I mean by that is, let me just reset the cooldown here, and it's a little tricky, but I'm going to hold V, hold Alt, push 1, and it didn't work. But it normally works. I guess it's on an internal cooldown, so I have to wait for the internal cooldown. But you get the point, right? Let's see. Sight focus. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So let's try that again. And recover resources, and then powering up, and then powering up, and then there we go. We got the damage buff. So that's one way to do it. Alt V is, well, it's because I'm pushing V while holding Alt. It's opening the pet menu, my bad. But here's how I normally do it. I go Super Saiyan. And then while I'm using Energy Releases animation, which looks like this, I do Alt 1. And what that's going to do is that's basically going to give me the blue power-up and the red power-up at the same time. So let's see what that looks like in 2 seconds whenever the debuff goes away, all right? So Super Saiyan, Sight Focus, there we go. So we're powered up. We are going to do as much damage as heckin' possible. All right, now let's talk about the combat rotation. Alright, for your combat rotation, you may be thinking that you should cast Pulverizing Palm first for that 25% juicy more damage, then follow up with Lightning Palm for more damage, and you would be right. However, you want to do this, you want to basically almost always use Merciless Pummel while in Hype 3 mode, while you have Energy Release active, and while you have Sight Focus active. Now what that means also is that if I do that, so just like that, and then I start doing this, that's a ton of damage, right? Now, you'll notice that I didn't cast Pulverizing Palm, and the reason why is because this skill has a 20-second cooldown, and, well, our hype meter has a similar cooldown. I do have a little bit of cooldown reduction because that is part of being in Hype 3. You have reduced cooldowns. And what that allows me to do is get 2 Merciless Pummels out in the time that I am in Hype 3. So what I mean by that is that by opening immediately with Merciless Pummel after an energy release, I can then spam my other abilities, and before Hype 3 runs out, I get a second Merciless Pummel. So, essentially, it looks like this. Hype 3 energy release while using your sight focus, then Q, then W, E, R, A, start slamming the boss. And I'm going to talk about auto attacks in a second here, but I was a little slow with it, so I'm not actually going to get my Merciless Pummel before my hype runs out, sadly. I was too slow on the keys, but let's try it again, okay? Let's see if we can do it a little bit better. So you got to like really hit those keys. There we go. And we got the first pummel out. I think we'll get the second pummel. And then we can start auto-attacking into Q, into auto-attack, into a timed auto. I'm going to talk about timed autos in just a sec. And then it looks like we got that second Merciless Pummel just in time. And as long as you cast it before you lose your hype meter, you will be doing the hype damage. Alright, so that is basically your combat rotation. I know I didn't say skills, but it's essentially Merciless Pummel, then Pulverizing Palm, then Lightning Palm. You don't have to cast this. It's only 4% more damage. You can save this if you're afraid the boss is going to hit you with a blue attack, or if you want to be cool for your raid and counter attack, alright? Then you just spam Heavily Squash, Shadow Breaker, Force Orb, Flash Step. Now, that's pretty much the rotation. Now let's talk about auto attacks. If I hold left click, this is what my attack looks like. It's 5 orbs and then you shoot like 4 more, right? Just holding left click does this. Now this is a back attack, so you deal more damage with your regular attacks from the back. There is a way to deal more damage though. So after you shoot your initial orbs, you'll see a circle around the bottom of your feet. You don't want to hold left click when you play this character because that animation locks you. I can't run away, or I guess I can in that. So, yeah, it kind of semi-locks you, right? But there's a way to make this even stronger, and it looks like this. So, you shoot your orbs, when that circle appears, let it turn blue. And then left-click right when it turns blue, and you will shoot extra beams a little bit faster, okay? So, it looks like this. And you only want to do this when you know you can land the attacks and all of your abilities are on cooldown, because otherwise it's a DPS loss. Now, there's another way to do red attacks, and that is when you are out of energy. So we're going to just blow all of our energy, so we can't use abilities, but our beams are going to be red. Or, no, I have to be in meditation mode. My bad. So we're going to go Hype 3. We're going to let this run out. We're attacking the boss normally, right? We're spinning abilities. Also, you'll notice that it's a little bit faster anyway when you're in hype mode because of the haste. And there we go. So once we are in meditation mode, when we run out of energy, we will have red attacks. All right. So give me a sec here, and there we go. There we go. So we should be shooting red orbs now. There we go. These deal more damage and they shoot faster. And I didn't even get the timing right on that one. There we go. So that is how to do the most powerful auto attack. It's very rare, but it's pretty cool. It's kind of like, I don't know, some sort of anime thing that's going on. But that is the combat rotation. Now, I know that's why you came to watch this video. That's pretty much the entire video, so you're good to go at this point if you want. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate to you actually, no, I'm going to make it a separate video. Check out my channel if you want to see the Soulfist do the giant turtle raid boss, okay? I'm SwoleBenji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole. Please leave a like, and please subscribe. I know the algorithm showed you this video, but if you subscribe, you can see it more often. Sometimes even subscribing doesn't work for some reason. I don't know. And if I ever go to play something else, you can always unsubscribe. It's completely fine. I understand, all right? And, of course, think about becoming a channel member. The button to join is right below this video. It's $5 a month, and it really helps me out. I appreciate you guys. I make videos every single day for Lost Ark, so come on back tomorrow for a new, fresh video, and let me know in the comments what you want me to make. I don't have a job. I don't have a life. I can play this game 20 hours a day because I don't even sleep. So I really appreciate you guys. Take care. See you tomorrow.